Hey guys, here at osmvdxreviews.com. You're watching our retro review part 1 where we just review the hardware of the HP Pavilion TX1000 series hybrid tablet computer that was pretty popular back when it was released in around 2007, 2008. And again, this is kind of the first real tablet computer that HP released that was widely successful and popular with consumers because it was aimed at consumers rather than purely professionals. It had a 12.1-inch LCD screen, and what really set it apart from other tablets at the time of its release was A, the cheaper price, and B, the fact that even though it's only a 12-inch laptop, which is kind of considered an ultra portable, it also had a full DVD combo drive built into the side that was also removable, and also the touchscreen itself was a resistive touchscreen instead of an active digitalizer based one, so you didn't have to use a special touchscreen just to use a special stylus just to use the touchscreen, and you could really use your fingers, although it wasn't as sensitive as traditional touchscreens for tablet PCs were. As far as processor goes, it was pretty sleek and it was pretty fast. It used an AMD Radeon 64X2 processor that ran on 1.8 gigahertz, and this is a dual-core processor. So in terms of speed, it was okay. It had 2 gigs of RAM, which is also sufficient for most tasks at least. Of course, you have a 160 gig hard drive on board, which it's okay, but it's a little bit noisy. Unfortunately, it ran on Windows Vista originally, so it had that touch input built in. You could also install Windows Vista Home Premium, depending on which version you purchase for your company or for work and play. You had a 12.1-inch screen that had a resolution of 1280 by 800 XGA, and as far as the graphics processor is concerned, we had a NVIDIA GeForce Go 6150 processor on board. So as far as performance is concerned, we do have a lot of features that are built on here. Taking a look at the design itself, it's made entirely of this plastic glossy material that we are on one end fans of because it looks pretty sleek, but on the other end it catches smudges like crazy, and so it becomes really easy to get dirty, and of course because it's plastic it also scratches very easily. That said, you have actually a very nice little pattern on here that's not exactly noticeable at first glance. I'm just going to show you guys. Again, it's like a mirror here because it's so reflective. It looks like it's just a regular plastic, but if you look closely, you can see actually all these grooves and lines, which shows a lot of detail that HP has done with the surfacing of this product. We are fans of. It has a nice little discreet style to it, but again, it's a very reflective material that smudges like crazy, which we are not fans of. As far as weight is concerned, it's quite heavy, to be honest. It's mainly because of the battery, the 6L battery on the back, which makes the device run for around 3 to 4 hours depending on what applications you use. So it's a pretty good battery, but again, it weighs the device down a lot, especially for a tablet. If you plan on just using this thing as a tablet to write on, just to draw on, or take it around with, it's going to weigh you down. And that's why HP made the option of removing the CD optical drive from the unit if you don't want that extra weight. Again, but the fact that it's built in is nice because you don't have to purchase an additional accessory just to play movies and run applications that are CD based. On the front of the device, we have a latch for opening and closing the device. It's a pretty nice latch. It closes the laptop nicely. It's not going to accidentally flop open. Down below here, we have another special feature. We have dual 3.5mm headphone jacks, which means that you can share music content with friends and family. You can listen and watch the movies at once if you're on an airplane with someone. You also have a built-in microphone adapter. We also have a wireless port for the optional remote control, which you could purchase. It's an IR port. This is the power on and off key. It's also backlit blue when the device is turned on. On the left-hand side of the device, we have access to the AC adapter slot for charging the device. When an AC adapter is plugged in, the ring around the charger will also turn blue, which is quite nice. Here's the place where the remote would sit if you had one built in, or it is just an empty little cradle slot. And over here is the CD-ROM/CD-ROM, and you can play movies with it and also rewrite movies and content and applications. So it's pretty easy to use. You just press this one button. One complaint that we did have when we tested this device a while back was that the button for opening and closing this door is quite hard to press. It's at this very strange angle, and so when you press this key, you really have to get in there with your fingernails, and it's quite inconvenient, a little bit awkward, but you get used to it over time. To remove the actual CD compartment, you have to turn the device over and kind of flip open and press open on one of the knobs on the side in order to kind of take out the slot. We're going to show you that in a second. On the right hand side of the laptop, we have access to a USB 2.0 port, an Ethernet port, an expansion port 3. We also have a VGA port for connecting to monitors. No HDMI port, unfortunately. A stereo connector is also on here. And additionally, we have a cooling fan. On the top of the device here, we actually have a set of controls that you can access without turning the device on or flipping over the lid. You can just press these keys and you can start controlling your media and music, which is pretty cool. So it dubs as a giant MP3 player, of course. You can play and pause music, skip tracks, and stop music. The buttons are pretty nice and easy to press. They are tactile, but they are very, very stiff. So you really have to get in there and make the device understand that you're pressing something. You notice you have a few holes on the top of the laptop. These correspond to latches when you turn the screen around, so the tablet side is facing up. The side, you see the hinge, you see the speakers. This, again, the battery protrudes a little bit, which we're not fans of, unfortunately, but it is there. A cooling fan. On the side here, we have another Ethernet port, and in addition, we have a USB 2.0 port and a Kingston lock in case you want to protect your laptop if you're placing it somewhere sensitive. I'm going to show you the back. I don't know why this storage just fell off a second ago. It's for the Wi-Fi card, but I'm just going to pop it back in like so. You'll see that the back of the laptop is fairly generic, nothing to write home about. You can see that you have labeled ports and doors to open up the corresponding parts and to remove parts from the laptop. So it's a very convertible, very customizable laptop. To remove the actual CD compartment over here, you just press the slider here, and then the CD part will just pop out like so, and then it decreases the weight of the laptop a little bit, but not too much. So you can pop in a plastic little piece to cover up the hole, and then you're ready to go. On the side here, you can see some more information about the laptop. You have cooling vents. We have places for adjusting the RAM and upgrading the RAM, upgrading the processor, the graphics card. This is for the keyboard compartment. This is the lock that corresponds to the battery itself, which you can take out and adjust. There's two locks on either sides of it. And then you can just take this out in case you don't want to have it in there when you're traveling. And then to put it back in, we just slide it back in like so. This is the wireless Wi-Fi card underneath here that you can also swap out if yours is having issues. And that's pretty much it as far as the exterior of the product is concerned. To flip open the screen, you would flip it open like so, and you'll be able to you'll be greeted to a matte finish screen. So it's a pretty good finish as far as tablet screens are concerned, because it's not too glossy, so it certainly isn't going to have the hugest glare under direct sunlight, which is something that we look for in tablet computers. And unfortunately, the hinge itself seems a little weak, so whenever you're adjusting angles, it kind of wobbles back and forth between its sets in place. So that's something to take note of. Doesn't seem like something that can handle too much pressure over time. The top of the device, you have access to a webcam. It's a 1.3 megapixel one, in addition to built-in microphones. And on the sides of the device, you have access to a fingerprint scanner for added security. So for more professional users out there, you'll be able to add a security lock to your laptop computer. Again, the touchscreen is made out of plastic. It's not glass, so it's not as high quality feeling as some other tablets out there, but it is what it is. On the sides of the device, you have some quick access buttons, including a DVD button. You actually don't have to turn the device on. Just pressing these corresponding buttons will turn the device automatically on to a specific application. It's called a quick launch application that HP is considering. This is a DVD button. When you press that, it's automatically going to start playing the DVD and wake the computer up. You also have some other menu settings and flipping the screen orientation and all that stuff. The speakers on this device is also produced by Altic Lansing, so pretty good speaker quality. Not amazing quality, but certainly better than traditional speakers built by HP themselves. The screen itself is also recessed, so it does attract a lot of dust, as you can see here on the sides, which is unfortunate. On the bottom here, we have access to volume controls. As far as the actual keyboard is concerned, it's very tactile, it's very responsive. It's a full-size keyboard. You have, again, the QWERTY layout and the number rows all the way on the top. So it's very comfortable to type on. All the buttons are tactile. It's not an island-style keyboard, but at the same time, the buttons are large enough and they're spacious enough and tactile enough to be pressed very easily. As far as the actual touchpad is concerned, it's quite interesting, as many reviewers have noted. Instead of using a traditional flush keyboard, the mouse pad is actually offset from the palm rest. It's made out of these nice little recessed holes, and they provide for a more tactile experience when you're actually using the cursor. But some people might not be used to that. It does provide a nice visual aid and difference between the scroll bar and the actual touch area, so that's a nice feature. It's also recessed, so you know where it is, and when you're typing on it, your palms won't actually accidentally hit the palm rest, and it's not going to accidentally hit the cursor and make the mouse go crazy on the screen, which is a nice design decision by HP. The clickers are also two dedicated clickers, which is something we always love to see because it's easier to press and more tactile. So overall, in terms of design, on first impressions, it seems pretty good as far as hardware is concerned, and that's not really where HP missed the ball on this laptop. To flip open or rotate the screen, there are arrows telling you which direction the screen can rotate, and you can use it at different angles, for example, like this, or even like this. Flipping open to the side here allows you to maybe play a movie or share content with someone else that's sitting on the other side of a desk, or if you want to use it in purely tablet mode, you can just flip down the screen and then here the latch close in place, and then you can start writing on it with your stylus, which is actually on the side of the device over here. The stylus is just a plastic one. It's pretty generic, a little bit flimsy, but again, you can really use anything to touch the screen as long as it's sharp enough and gonna be able to pinpoint an exact location on the touchscreen. So pretty much, again, here even in tablet mode, it's very heavy to carry around. Of course, with the optical drive out, it is a little bit lighter, but still is quite heavy. And it's locked into place pretty nicely when it's in this mode. You, again, use the latch to make the device rotate upwards again. Now, all of these design decisions seem pretty good on paper, but unfortunately, the original, HP TX1000 series was plagued with a lot of different software and performance issues that were numerous and unfortunate. One of them was this GPU issue that would make the screen go completely black when you're powering on the device, and it would actually make your device unusable. You would turn it on, the screen would be completely black, and the fan would be running, and the processor would be running, it would overheat, but nothing else would happen. In order to fix this problem, there was an easy fix. You would take a hairdryer, and then you would basically hair dry the sides of the vents to make the device reset and then turn on properly again. Another issue we had, though, was unfortunately the Wi-Fi card seems to have a little bit of issue and dies after a while, so you have to replace it with a new one. But as far as performance is concerned, it is fairly decent, and you'll start to see that as we review it in the second part of the review, where we'll cover more specifically the software side of things. But let's just look back at the hardware side of the original HP Pavilion TX1000 series tablet computer. Really, this was the first modern tablet convertible that HP made with Windows Vista, and really paved the way with how they experience and produce touchscreen-based tablet computers today. Thanks for watching this retro review part 1 here at osmbtxreviews.com.